Hello, folks. Going live here this Sunday. I think everything's looking good. Let's start out by doing a little playing, and we'll hang out and talk guitar, improvisation, mainly in the jazz genre. I'm gonna mute my mic here and play around a little bit. Okay, I'll talk about a few things that I've been up to recently. We put out the Stella by Starlight melody video, chord melody lesson on the YouTube channel. And I'll talk a little bit about some of my goals there and all that. So we have a little bit of separation between the melody and the chord, so we can kind of give sort of the impression or overall maybe aesthetic that a piano player might have by trying to separate a little bit of the chords, a little bit of the melody. So play. Right, so we're just kind of creating this little these little responses to the melody and suggesting some of the chords as they change, and this can be a really nice way of playing for trio type gigs and things, or just jamming at home with a rhythm section or iReal Pro or something. Have mute the piano part and have bass and drums going, and try this arrangement out. Now, some of the voicings, or really most of the voicings, are really pretty simple. They just suggest some of the basic outline of the melody you may have heard of or are familiar with. Shell voicings, right? So we can have, let's say, a C minor 7. We could have a really big C minor 7 chord voicing with all 6 strings. But we could also have smaller things going on, sort of like the essential components of the chord itself. So maybe a root, flat 7 and a third for a minor 7 type chord, and then a root third and flat 7 for dominant 7th. And then if you're playing in a trio kind of setting, then the bass gets a little bit, freed up because that's being handled by the bassist. But if you are playing this on your own, you could play, include some of those bass notes. Right. So here I'm kind of including the bass. So that awareness of the bass note, it kind of needs to be there, but you don't always have to really play it. And sometimes it's really helpful in a trio setting to just omit it all together. So we've got some little independence as you go through it, trying to keep some things ringing and moving your chord tones around. And on guitar we work with a lot of limitation. Maybe compared to piano player or something like that. So or some instrument like that. So we really are limited to six notes total, 4 fingers, or maybe the thumb. And so doing the most you can, with what we have, and the technical, limitations or technical things you want to build up, but some of the limitations really kind of the instrument. All right, I want to mention here that getting the very beginnings of a community website going. And so I'll mention that this live stream can actually be streamed from my website, fretprints.com. So check that out. So that's up in the menu bar. There's something that says Sunday live stream. So you can visit there and chat directly if you like. And over the last few weeks, I've been hosting a live stream exclusive to the website and the and kind of our updates part of our member area here on the YouTube channel via via the website. So and YouTube. So free stream for anyone who has subscribed to the email newsletter. So check that out in the description down below, and you get a free course, a course that I made early on in my efforts to do this, which takes you through the foundations of patterns, foundational patterns course. So you sign up for the email list and you get that free course, and then in the process you'll automatically have a login that you've created into the website. So then you can see some of our free exclusive content there, live streams where I'll talk about improvisation primarily, or Anything anyone wants to chat about? Okay, I'm going to do a little more playing, but thanks for dropping by on this Sunday, May 18. Okay, No Name says hello. Zaw said hi, and Stephen Reichert says hello as well. Thanks for joining in. Playing around there a little bit on Stella by Starlight, which is just a really great tune to play. I've done quite a few talks on it recently on the channel here, and so Ronets, no. Beyonce, sorry, I don't know any Beyonce tunes. Thanks for joining in. Mostly, this is an educational type channel for guitarists, improvisers, with a focus on improvisation. Vermont. Wow, that's I have not played that in a very long time. A great tune. Great tune. thinking about a tune that to do this week. So who knows? Maybe that's a contender. Nice choice. Do you have any Moonlight in Vermont arrangements or artists that you kind of like? Maybe I could check those out. All right, Joe Pass version. Okay. Joe Pass, yeah. Moonlight in Vermont. Trying to recall that tune. That has kind of been a while. Yeah, I could probably put, together a pretty simple arrangement of that. Or maybe something, I always try to keep the arrangements a little bit simple, um, but interesting, and maybe as kind of a starting off point for folks. Um, so that could be a really nice ballad to put in a place here. Yeah, so we got some. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Anna, for suggestion. Maybe I'll see if I can take some influence from the Joe Pass version. Yeah, this is a beautiful tune. If you haven't heard this tune, Moonlight in Vermont. So I really appreciate everybody joining here. So I mainly do the kind of jazz repertoire, or maybe some of the fusion, jazz fusion. I do have a few things that I can help with maybe on some pop tunes and rock tunes, because I do teach, general guitar lessons as well as classical and jazz. So, but yeah, this is not so much an entertainment channel per se, more of like an educational channel. So I'm not doing a lot of requests and stuff, but kind of mostly talking about improvisation. So if you're into that kind of thing, stick around. But I just don't want to lead anyone to the wrong expectation or anything. Yellow Ledbetter kind of jazz. Yeah, I like that tune. So thanks for subscribing, Randy. You're welcome, NF. Thanks for the tune suggestion. Appreciate it. Beatles tunes. Yeah, lots of great tunes. Actually, I have a few on my channel. I believe I have Dear Prudence on this channel, maybe. And I have Blackbird, all that. So I do have a popular music channel, but I'm somewhat inactive with it. So. But thanks for subscribing, folks. I will, let's see. Kind of reminds me here. Maybe I should do our little like and subscribe routine. Would appreciate your subscription and all that. Helping folks to play some tunes. Okay, so I'm going to do another just improvisation here. Thanks for subscribing. Really appreciate it. Slaylog, thank you. Really appreciate it. We're trying to grow here. I'm trying to grow. I would love to grow really fast with this channel, but at the same time, I want to keep this very kind of organic, you might say, organic growth, and so kind of no gimmicks, and that's one thing I actually was thinking about really focusing on today when it comes to practicing and learning guitar. I would recommend try to think of it as a lifestyle as far as practice and performing, or even not performing, or just performing for yourself. And so, really try to think about just being where you are, enjoying where you are, and then making small, reasonable gains on a daily basis, and those things really do accumulate over time. And the more that you have available to you, the more you can express things like that. So and just that kind of perspective really wants me to lead this to be kind of no gimmicks, just get down and get your fundamentals together. Don't overly criticize yourself, or don't set unreasonable expectations. And where we are in our playing is something to enjoy. and if you were to listen to your future self playing, you'd probably be really impressed. But unfortunately, we're always trying to move the goalpost a little further. Um, so that's good, and it's natural, and we should really strive to be more refined in our playing, or maybe achieve more technical ability. But don't forget to be right where you are and enjoy what you're currently doing. Your number one fan. Thanks for joining here. Appreciate it. All right, so undo a little bit of playing. Got mugs available, some merch down below if you want to support the channel. I'd appreciate it. Have a little coffee here. It's pretty strong too. All right. Yeah, your number one fan is from Maryland. I'm from Maryland. Thanks for asking. All right, everybody, let's see. Okay, folks. Yeah, so I'm gonna hang out here for another probably 15 minutes or so. So let me know if you have any questions. I actually listened to some non-jazz this morning. I listened to Beck Mutations album this morning, and found it very enjoyable. Highly recommend it if you're looking for like vocal type music. On my main horizontal live stream, I really thought I had it set up last night, and I guess I didn't. So I just had that set up a little bit beforehand. So do you still offer a free online consultation? That's a good question. I think the way I have it set up is that it's paid like a small amount, and then if you decide to take a lesson or do join the member area on the channel, then you can get a coupon to get that amount reversed. I think just putting it on the internet for free is just problematic, because a lot of people might sign up and then not show up. So that complicates my scheduling. So, but if you want to give me a message, I could get you set up if you're serious about doing one. I could certainly get you set up with that. You can email me, info@jimellisguitar.com. So we can definitely set something up. Solo or blue bossa. Could you show how to effectively... Oh, okay, I get it. So continued on. Could you show how to effectively solo over blue bossa? Yeah, blue bossa is a great one to work at, because when we have a tune like, let me just kind of back up, we have a tune like Stella by Starlight. There's a lot of like 2/5s that are kind of in the minor flavor, and then there's sort of 2/5s that are more in the major, and then all these sort of kind of note collection changes or kind of key changes. So one thing about blue bossa that's so great to practice is that you get some experience working on a 2/5 in minor and then a 2/5 in major. So there's really a lot packed in to that small progression, and that's another thing that's really good about it. If you are less familiar with jazz repertoire, having a nice short progression like that, I think it's 16 bars, right? So that can be really pretty helpful. So the first thing would be from very basic point of view is start by improvising in the key of 3 flats, C minor, and going through the changes. The one big thing that I think folks may be missing with their jazz improv studies is really connection between chords and harmony and melody and so scales and chords. So when you're playing on this, the notes in the key will relate to this chord in certain ways. Some will be consonant, some will be more dissonant. And then when you advance further, then you might utilize other note collections. But let's just keep it very basic. Let's say your key of 3 flats. You want to really hear. So when folks talk about arpeggios, you want to try to view that as the inside sound when that chord is going. So if you have a C minor 7, those are going to be the very inside sounds, and then the other 3 notes from the note collection or key signature are going to be kind of non-chord tones, and some are very, very pleasant and agreeable to the chord, and sometimes some are less so. So when you're playing, this first half of the tune, you want to just really get into touch with how the key signature or note collection relates to a given chord at a moment, and what's the function of the chord, what's it doing, where is it going, right? So when you play D minor 7 flat 5 and you're playing notes in the key of 3 flats, the consonances and dissonances are going to be in different places, the chord tones and non-chord tones, basically, right? So in this example, D, F, A flat, and C are going to be very agreeable with the chord, while those notes that we played earlier Some of those may be less so. And that's the whole bit of the thing about music too, is um, it can be a little bit elusive. You can't necessarily always say like this is this and this is that, or you have to plug these notes into this and that, because it is kind of an art form, and or it is an art form, and you use your ear to guide you. So that's the first thing on that tune. So the more you can get specific with the chords and having an idea what the function of these chords are as you move through, the better. And then go into D flat major, and you get into just observing, really at first, just observing what in the key of 5 flats sounds consonant on this chord, E flat minor, and what doesn't. Okay. So we want to really get in a little bit deeper with how the sounds work with the tune. So that's why we do it. Work on those 2 key centers, key of 3 flats, key of 5 flats, and really get in there. And one thing that's kind of cool about iReal Pro is you can loop sections, and you can really get your ear engaged with how does this scale relate? What does this note sound like? And trying to do it without any judgment. Just observation, not good or bad necessarily. Jeffrey Boyle, welcome. Good to see you. Okay. You're welcome. Your number 1 fan, Michael Burrows. Hello, I'm doing well. How about you? Okay. Vicente Acosta Chavez. Hello. Okay, NF, have you ever played a Gibson L5 worth the $10,000 price tag? I think I have. I think I went to a store and I played one time somewhere north of Seattle somewhere. I don't remember right. And it was really great. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think if the budget allows, if it doesn't strain the finances, then having a great guitar is good. I think there are kind of diminishing returns though. So for me, I wouldn't be able to currently afford that. But so from my perspective, I'm trying to work with something that kind of meets a minimal standard, and so I don't know. That's a tough one to answer, but yeah, I would definitely try to play one, and see if you feel like it's really really good. Haven't ever played a PV1060. No, I've never played that. Depends on the condition too. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, I've had students that have really had brought in guitars like in that neighborhood price range, and they're really good. Custom shop Gibsons, really amazing. So if it's really something that you're gonna play lifelong, then that could be a real good possibility. Okay. Okay, let's see. How often? Okay, Rodney, thanks for joining. Sorry to just get to your comment. How often do you live stream on Improvisation? So I'm live streaming the Sunday live here. I'm actually live streaming 3 times a week on Improvisation. One is here on YouTube on Sundays. One is on my website on Tuesday evenings at 8:15 Eastern Time. And you can get a free login to my website and access that and join in on our chat and stuff like that. And check out the description box below, because if you sign up for my newsletter, get a free course on foundations of guitar neck patterns, which I did quite a few years ago. But it's a really good course on knowing the notes and the unison and some of the essential shapes. But then you'll have access to that free live stream. And I don't know if it'll be kind of free forever, but that's kind of what I'm currently doing. And then I have a member live stream on Saturdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So if you're kind of getting serious and really trying to make some strides, I'd recommend joining that. But you can always get your feet wet joining free, and I'm actually including some of my exercises on for free. So my latest exercise on the channel, and this is kind of my soft. I'm still kind of in my soft launch period, so things are just getting going. But got a recent exercise on pentatonics for the for Stella by Starlight. Let me play a little bit of my exercises there. So we've got this first exercise, which is going to be free for registered users, is going to be the first in the series of probably 5 or maybe more, where you work out pentatonics to really introduce the sounds of the progression. And these are some pentatonics that are not so commonly maybe known or talked about. Alterations to the common minor pentatonic and major pentatonic modes of the pentatonic, and also what's known as the dominant pentatonic, and some alterations of those can really help you to improvise changes. So just to I'm just kind of meandering pentatonics over those changes, but hopefully you can kind of hear a little bit of those changes. And then kind of the concept there, you can play pentatonics over changes, or you can use those pentatonic tones that are fairly consonant and suggest the changes as targets, right? So you can play. And just kind of be aware of where the pentatonics are, and then you're building all these chromatic lines into it. All right, let me check in on more comments. Can I play a tune like Someone in Love? That's a great tune. I will add that to my list of tunes. Maybe I would do a chord melody of that. Um, um, yeah, so I've got a few good tune suggestions. Rodney T. Working on Autumn Leaves. Actually, I've got those were my first exercises. I've got a whole. Sorry, the siren just went by, or ambulance just went by. But I've got voice leading exercises on that tune. And I've got voice leading for melodic playing and voice leading for chords and stuff. So, all right. Getting requests for playing, so maybe I'll do a little playing here on Autumn Leaves. Talking about Autumn Leaves a little bit, so do a little playing here. All right. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Um, take some few last minutes here. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining in. And Terry, Joseph, Stephen Lopez. This is no, this is a Ibanez AS200. Ibanez, thank you. Yeah, Sacred Geometry. Okay, yes, Ibanez. My headstock is probably not showing there. So, there we go, Ibanez. Okay. Hearing chord types. Yeah, the one thing I would say there is try to think about the minor and major general as families, like, and Joe Pass talks about this, and that's probably where I got it from anyway. But thinking about major, right, and so generally major, like major 7 or major 9, 6/9 type chords. So the main thing is like kind of major with that's not flat 7, and then you get into your dominant 7th, and just really kind of hear that element of it. So think in families, and then you can work in all the details from there. Do all the alterations and I'll get in touch with all the extensions, and it all kind of branches out of those basic things. So dominant minor, and then minor 7 flat 5, and fully diminished, and then just try to kind of branch from that. So Ronnie, yeah. You're welcome. I'm glad you subscribed and joined the email newsletter. So thanks so much. So I'll take a couple more questions here real quick, and hopefully I didn't miss anybody. Thank you, Sacred Geometry. I appreciate it. Hello, Emma Oliveira. And how do you find the key of the song? Well, try to find where the melody wants to gravitate towards. If it's a tonal tune, and that's gonna really help you find that, and then essentially, so you kind of find the tonic by listening, and you can even find things that it might even be more telling to think about what notes come before. What is it, the tension that leads to the tonic. So you find your tonic, and then you think, okay, well, what's the quality of the tune or that chord when the tonic comes in? Is that a major or a minor? So for tonal tunes, that's kind of the direction you wanna go for, which is what you're asking, I think, for a key of a tune. Hello, Ben-Hur. Yes, I do online lessons, and I have some links in the description down below where you can find out more about that, or you can email me at info@jimellisguitar.com. The first pentatonic shape can be used to find the key. Yeah, so pentatonics are really helpful for that too. So thank you, Randy. All right, everybody. Thanks again. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah, check out that newsletter for a free course. And I will see you all in the next one.